There's a sign you can just make out underneath where it says St. Jude's. It's an old sign where the letters have been chipped off some time back, years ago, that said, "A place where families come to work." Now, the only sign of that is the faded wood surrounding where these letters once hung. And it appears the St. Jude's plaque has been affixed above it. But it gives some indication as to what this place used to be.
I consider the building with interest. I'm curious what sort of layout it has, at least from the outside. But, well, it's mainly just idle curiosity, I suppose, as I just wait for all the other kids.
I wonder how many people they have in here. How many people do you think they have in here?
Dunno. Probably a lot.
Emily comes up behind Damien and Tobin and looks at them. She looks mainly at Damien. She walks up very awkwardly and points to his notebook. Those are some nice drawings you have there. I like to draw.
Yeah. I close the notebook, not quickly, just slowly, and say, yeah, I like to doodle, but I'm bored.
I like to draw animals. What do you like to draw?
Oh, just whatever I'm thinking about.
Okay.
I kind of look at this little girl, because even though I'm only a bit older than her, and I think of everyone here as little, and reach into my bag and just take out a spare pencil from my pencil case. Here you go, have a pencil. It's red.
What? Emily looks up at you like you just offered her a bag of pure gold. But it's your pen.
It's yours now. Besides, that girl over there is probably going to come tonight and throw them all down a toilet, so may as well give them out while I can.
Pens don't go in the toilet.
No, they don't. But that one over there is going to probably throw them in, and I briefly eye the girl from before, although I try not to do it for too long, and I say, make sure you don't piss that one off.
Emily very carefully takes the pencil. She's fully focusing on it. Like she's studying every detail of the pencil. And she rolls it between her fingers before she puts it into her pocket. She's wearing a hoodie over her dress, which has like front pockets. And when she puts the pencil into her pocket, you can hear a clacking sound. She looks up at you. Thank you for the pencil.
It's nothing really. Just if I need it back just for a little bit, just in case I don't have one, would you mind letting me borrow it? Thank you.
Yeah. You can do more doodles.
And I kind of look away. This girl is nothing, but at least she's not try and kill me on the first night at least, so that's something.
All you are faced with in this great concrete expanse is before you the building and behind you the security station and the gate. The security station is manned. The doors to the building are shut. The children and teenagers who have been deposited here are clearly growing restless. Some are deciding now is a good opportunity to take a circuit of the building, which you can do. Others are just sitting down, opening up their bags, pulling snacks out, most of them hoarding them very preciously. No fights are breaking out yet, but again, some kids are forming into gangs already. It doesn't take long. Either simply through recognition. Oh, I know you. We went to the same school at one point. Weren't we at the same nursery? That kind of thing. Others, well, those who have been through the system know some of the kids here by reputation. It does appear that docile Mo Rahman does have something of a notorious reputation. And certainly his size would indicate the actions of which he is accused, but his manner, so far as you have seen, does not, as he just sits there, slack-jawed, hands open, and waits.
I try and see if there's anyone I can, if anyone that has snacks that I can just, steal and bring back to Lana and Laura, preferably without them actually noticing.
Okay. Well, there is a kid who has a bag that is practically brimming with food. With lots of everything from protein bars to candy, fizzy drinks. It looks like this person came with a hamper and was clearly intending on making this some kind of camping getaway almost. It's a boy, larger than you in weight, and, well, sadly, given the contents of his bag, that isn't much of a surprise.
And I see the stuff that he has with him, and I feel like my tummy kind of heaves. I never eat shit like that. But now I do. I'm gonna try and steal something from him. I don't really care what it is.
Okay. He is himself chowing down on a chocolate bar. Could you make I think a reflexes would make sense. I mean, you're not avoiding harm, but you are trying to do this sneakily, unless you have a better suggestion.
Coolness, maybe?
Coolness? Let's go for coolness.
Let's try. It's 11.
You grab delicately a handful of candy packs. You think you've got a packet of Skittles there, a Curly Whirly, and a can of Monster energy drink, and you scatter some of the food from within his bag onto the parking lot. You basically tug it a little too hard, as it wasn't a complete success. Are you going to stop and tidy or pick anything else up now that you have the opportunity as these things are rolling away from him? Or are you just going to take what goods you have already stolen to your two new friends?
I'm kind of just gonna, as I drop some of the things, I'm just gonna turn back to him, not very discreetly, just seeing if he actually saw that or if I got away.
He doesn't appear to have seen it, or if he has, he genuinely doesn't care.
I kneel down and I take up the energy drink that I dropped, and I notice that the can is kind of leaking, so I'm trying to hold it quite awkwardly as I make my way back to the others.
Is Emily seeing this?
Yes.
When Tobin walks back to Emily, she looks up at him. She doesn't make eye contact, but she's kind of looking right beneath his face. You're not supposed to steal things that are not yours.
Yeah? Well, that's what I do, okay? I steal things. That's what I do.
Why?
Take things that... because I want them. What?
But what if he got them as a present, and he's gonna get really sad if he doesn't have it.
And this actually really gets to me, and I feel really terrible. But so I'm not looking back towards your eyes either, more like up to the sky, kind of fumbling with words. Well, it's not like he needs it anyway. Who are you?
I'm Emily.
Yeah? Hi.
Hello.
Woo!
What's your
Look,
name?
Tobin's got the goods! And Laura and Lana interrupt your pleasant interaction just before you get to know each other properly. Tobin!
Yeah, here you go. Which one do you want?
Oh, can of Monster.
Yeah. Hand it over.
And at that point, Laura's midriff gets coated with the spray of Monster from the can. You douche! Did you have your thumb on that to stop it from leaking on you, and you just pass it over to me and I get sprayed with this fucking thing?
Yeah, I did. Do you like it?
God, you're as nerdy as you look. She throws the Monster on the ground at your feet, and it sprays and spins and coats Emily and Damien and yourself, at least your legs, in a shower of sticky energy drink. Lana finds this hilarious.
And I laugh along nervously, trying to be part of the... I'm clowning now.
I just look at this scene, shaking my head. What a bloody idiot. He really thinks those girls like him. Whatever. And I then start looking beyond my fellow children. Because where are the adults? At this point, I'm a little confused. Like, has no one come out to get us? Are there any security-looking people around anywhere? Are we literally just here by ourselves?
The only adults are on the security station, and they're not paying any attention to you. And then the door to St. Jude's opens. There's a small woman, angular glasses on her nose, brown cardigan, and white blouse. She leans out and says, I would have wanted at least one of you to show the initiative, but nonetheless, form a line, listen to me. She snaps her fingers. Form a line and enter one at a time. Always open the doors presented to you. And she points at Emily. Always open the doors.
Always open the doors.
That's it. Good girl. Remember, if there's a door presented to you, you open it and you walk on through. And she disappears back in.
Walk through the door.
I almost bite back the urge to say something like, what if it's locked? But again, I'm here to be cool, so I shall simply get in the line that I imagine some kids might be forming and get ready to enter this building single file.
When Damien is moving, Emily immediately moves up right next to him, almost clings to him, and grabs his hand and looks up at him.
I blink. Initially, I blink, looking confused. I'm about to draw my hand away, but for some reason I don't. But after a few seconds, I just say, look, Emily, Single file, okay? You don't want to get in trouble. Just get behind me, don't stand there.
But
please.
Please don't leave me.
I doubt they'll put us in the same dorm, kid. Just
But,
okay.
But you don't understand. There's sometimes there's monsters, and I get really scared.
Well, you just gotta face them then, okay? To the best you can.
No, because they're saying that they're going to hurt me.
Look, I look a little panicked. Not so much because this poor girl is opening her heart to me, but because I'm worried that in a second or two, both of us are going to get shouted at by someone. So I just quickly pull out a second pencil from my bag and say, look, okay, I tell you what, I'll give you another pencil. If you just for a moment, please, just be quiet. Follow me in single file. Let's just get this done with, okay? Otherwise that lady's going to come out and probably hit you or something.
Pencils are not for the toilet. Emily grabs the pencil and stands behind you.
Okay. Ugh, I turn and kind of feel irritated already, but it's hard to be that irritated at this poor little girl. So, I just start walking forwards quickly.
Lana gives Tobin a respectful and playful nudge. You know, that was pretty funny, what you just did with that cannon monster.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I dropped it at first, and I don't know. It seems like Laura could do with a bit of something, you know.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, she is such a coward. Do you know, at school, she literally had the nickname Docs. She says she was called Demon. She wasn't. She was just called Docs, because that skank that she drove to suicide.
Yeah.
She did it. You know, she did it. She started all of that stuff. She took the photo. She set up the group. Didn't even know the girl. Didn't even know her. Just happened to be at the same party. Took the photo and thought, this will be fun. Let's ruin a kid's life. I mean, at least with me, at least with what I was doing to my stepmom, she deserved it, because she was a bitch. This girl, she was just stupid. She was a stupid skank who took all her clothes off and got drunk. Didn't deserve to kill herself, though, did she? So now, what I'm saying that Laura getting drenched in Monster, I think that was pretty cool.
And I feel a bit dizzy at this, and what she's saying, and it kind of sinks in that what she's saying, that they really drove this girl to kill herself. I mean, she did, Laura. And I kind of stumble with the words. Yeah. Shit. I think I'm a bit dizzy. I just gotta clutch my nose.
Yeah, that nose of yours. Sorry about putting you up against my cunt. I was trying to give you a signal, you know, when Laura said that would be a good thing to do. I was trying to tell you that it was a bad idea, but you looked straight through me, man.
Yeah.
We'd better shut up. It looks like we're going in.
Oh, alright, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's see what we're gonna do now. Uniforms? Do you think we're gonna get, uniforms?
Shut up. As those of you who have arrived today make your way into the hall with its polished wooden floor and high ceiling, you hear the voices of adults addressing you from the end of the room. A woman introduces herself as Dr. Crow. This is the woman you saw a minute ago. She is the appointed therapist and counsellor for St. Jude's. A man named Father Vogel introduces himself and explains how everyone will attend chapel twice a day to receive the word of God and sing any sin away. No mention is made of multi-denominational faith or anything like that. Another pair, Mr. Greep and Mrs. Edgewood, are introduced as your teachers. Finally, a Mr. Spear is introduced as kitchen staff, and a Ms. Franklin is introduced as the on-site maintenance worker. As they run through the facility's timetable for each of you, tell you where and when you'll be showering, eating, attending class, and sleeping, the feeling of being incarcerated mounts. Father Vogel reminds each of you that anyone attempting to leave the St. Jude's grounds without permission will be brought back by security or the police, if you push it. And then they actually open it up to kids' questions. Only one of the adults seems frustrated with this, and that's Mr. Greep, one of the teachers. You see him slump in his seat and roll his eyes. Come on, children. Dr. Crow snaps her fingers again. Any questions? This is your first day, but there are prefects here who will be able to show you the ropes if you missed anything. But now is the time. If you have questions, now is the time to ask them. Because I can tell you that we keep to a very tight schedule at any other time. And as we keep to a tight schedule, asking silly little questions about where the toilets are or where one goes for lunch will not be, shall we say, an acceptable use of your or our time. So, questions. Anyone?
I squint.
I hold up my hand.
And she leafs through a folder and looks over her glasses. Waltz, isn't it?
Yes. Miss... Dr.
Dr. Crow, yes.
Is there anything that we aren't allowed to keep? I mean...
Good question. I mean, that's a very good question, Waltz, and I'm sure all of your fellow children will be very glad to hear that you asked it. Yes, there are many things that you are not allowed to keep. They are classified as contraband. Now, some of you are only here for a very brief period of time, 3 months. Others among you are expected to be here for the next couple of years. Needless to say, for the most part, your belongings, while separated from you, will be kept safe. However, some items, perishable goods and so on, we will donate to local charities, ensure they go to good homes. Just due to the cost of postage, we cannot send any of your belongings back to your home, if indeed you had one. Therefore, we will need to do a bag search on every single one of you before you reach your dorm. Would you agree, Mr. Greep? Do it here, do it in the dorm. What does it fucking matter? Mr. Greep. Sorry, what does it matter? Yes, very good. We will search bags in the dorms, overseen by the prefects. In fact, the prefects can do the bag searches. Good idea. Yes, that's what we will do. And you will find that most of your items are taken away from you. Do you understand what the word Spartan means, Waltz? Does anyone here understand the word Spartan?
Yes.
Well, do tell us. Educate the rest of your class.
I started feeling a bit embarrassed, sitting there with the paper napkins up my nose, still a bit bloody. That you don't keep too many things.
Yes, thank you. Very good. Of course, it has 2 meanings, because, of course, there is ancient Sparta as well, although that is not what we are talking about at this time. Indeed, we keep a Spartan, frugal, minimalistic existence, because distractions such as video games, consoles, personal televisions, mini DVD players, Walkman, and such are distractions. They will be distractions from your education, education, from your healing, and from your security. Needless to say, your parents, where you have parents, or guardians, where you do not, have all signed off on this, and none of you are of an age where you can dispute it.
As this is being spoken of, I briefly, just subconsciously, think of my bag. The tape cassette, the mini recorder has been sewn into the bottom of the bag in sort of an area where there would be a bit of hardness normally. But of course, if they find it, there'll be nothing I can do about it. We'll have to see if I can get the notebook through. Still, I look at this boy, doing what they say, and I'm very glad that once again, hopefully this will clear me a little of being the nerd, because I'm not going to answer any of their schoolboy questions so eagerly.
Emily raises her hand very carefully.
Oh, I don't need to look at my folder to recognize you. Miss Janssen. Everybody, Miss Janssen is our youngest child to be here, so I'm sure all of us will treat her very special indeed. You are a special case, Miss Janssen. Yes, what is your question?
Pens doesn't belong in the toilet.
Quite correct. No, pens do not belong in the toilet. Everybody, I hope you listen to this. Miss Janssen has a problem. She has what is considered, in some circles, professional circles, a mental impairment. Therefore, you are all to be kind to her. You are not to bully her, and she waggles her finger. You are to treat her as if she is your own little sister. And if you find her putting pens down the toilet, you tell me right away. Thank you, Miss Janssen. Any other questions?
I don't put pens in the toilet because
Thank you, Miss
not where they
Janssen. Thank you,
belong.
Miss Janssen. Sit back down now, please.
Emily sits down.
I raise my hand slowly.
Who are you? Maybe the paperwork hasn't come through yet. Your name?
Damien Weller, Miss Dr. Crow.
Doctor. He didn't study to be called Miss. Yes, Weller. What is your question?
Who are the prefects? What do they do?
You will be introduced to them shortly, but I can... In fact, now might be a good time. Father Vogel, could you bring the prefects in? Of course. Now, the prefects are children who have been here longer than most, it is fair to say. They know this facility inside and out. And what that means is they are here to keep you safe and assist in the efficient running of this facility. And Father Vogel leads a group of kids that you would guess are 16, maybe even a bit older than that, onto the stage. So this is Isaac Hill, this is Georgina Barton, this is Dylan Polk, this is Francis Coachman, this is Clifford Price, this is Aliyah Johnson, and this is Oscar Bevois. Now, I don't expect you to remember all of their names. They will ensure that you remember their names through their actions. But they are your... Well, to use the same metaphor as we used earlier, they are your older siblings. You can trust them. You can go to them with any problem whatsoever and be assured that your problems will come straight back to myself or to Father Vogel or any other responsible adult. If the prefects can't handle it, we shall. As you can see, we have a mix of genders among the prefects. It wouldn't exactly be fair if girls had to report to boys now, would it? So that means that there is always going to be a trusted representative in your dorm. Regardless of age, boys will sleep with boys, girls will sleep with girls. There will be no fraternization between the two genders at night time. Miss Edgewood stands up. And when Dr. Crow says two genders, she does mean any gender. And Miss Edgewood sits back down. Yes, of course. Sometimes I get stuck in old. old terminology. Did that answer your question, Miss Weller?
Yes, thank you.
Well, tell me more. Anyone else got a question?
Me, I'm sitting now and I feel like I want to know more. I want to keep asking things, but I feel uncomfortable taking too much, if it's not that, someone else will have to ask something. So I sit and I try and make a stupid face to Lana and hand over a chocolate bar.
My attention is entirely on these prefects. I'm trying to, just from a glance, suss them out. Which ones are the ones who are going to tattle on everything that happens, which ones actually want to be here, which ones don't. Difficult to see from a glance, but I'm more interested in them than I am the adults.
Could you make an intuition roll, please? Depending on how well you do, will certainly determine what you will learn at this point.
13.
13. Good roll, Craig. So what you're picking up from observing these prefects is some of them look just about as... how best to describe it? Detached from reality as some of the children who were with you in the parking lot. Some of them are just staring off into the distance. Some of them are quite twitchy and agitated. Others very much lean forward, glowering in an intimidating manner that is just clear animalistic posturing over the new kids in the facility. The only one that seems friendly or mild to look at is the one who is introduced as Oscar Beauvoir. He has a smiling face. He looks gentle compared to the rest. Aaliyah Johnson looks pretty calm as well. And Clifford Price to a degree. But Francis Coachman, Dylan Polk, very, very twitchy. Georgina Barton, even more so. And Isaac Hill is just looking at everyone like they are lunch.
Interesting. As I look over this Oscar boy, does it seem genuine? Or does this seem as if it's the calm of someone who just knows how to hide themselves better than the others?
From what you can tell, it appears to be genuine. He seems to just be happy to see people.
I make a mental note of that. And yes, I just cross my arms and look around the other kids.
A few other questions get asked by some of your fellow new arrivals, such as when is the time for this lesson, how much time do we get for recreation, how many kids to a dorm, that kind of thing. Do we have to be accompanied to the restroom? Someone asks that who has been under the protection of the state. What is your role here, Dr. Crow? And Dr. Crow explains, I will be providing therapy for all of you. All of you. Even those of you who aren't mentally or socially troubled, it will help you to speak in confidence with an adult, and that is what I am here for. And, of course, what Father Vogel is here for as well, but primarily me. In this place, the sciences do trump the more theologian pursuits, and Father Vogel wrinkles his nose at that. But we do treat both of them with importance. That is the important thing. We believe the children can find their own path to healing, and it is just up to us to shepherd them through the door, as it were. So, steadily, the assembly dissolves. The adults start to head off. Greep looking tired, Edgewood looking a bit bouncy, Franklin keeping her face down, and Speer looking completely disinterested. Only Crow and Vogel really keep their eyes on everybody. Crow and Vogel both seem very enthusiastic and energized by the arrivals of these new children. And Crow booms across the hall before the children start departing. Everyone will be paired up with a prefect. The prefect will take you around the facility. Until you are taken around the facility, you will remain in this hall or out in the car park. It is about to start raining, so I do not recommend standing out in the car park. Keep your bag with you. Do not steal from any other children, but keep your bag with you, and the prefect will see to it that you get to where you need to be. Until our sessions, and she waves and departs.
I let out a quiet sigh to myself at the idea of having to have sessions with these people. Still, it shouldn't be a problem, I know. I know Dad said that best not lie about everything. Mix in a lot of truth, otherwise they'll get suspicious, so it shouldn't be a problem.
I look over to my new friends and I say, do you think they're gonna force Flash to wear underwear now?
Lana lets out a laugh at that. It seems Emily and Damien, or at least Emily, is a little too traumatized by everything, and Damien has got his mind on other things to respond to Tobin's ill-timed humour. The prefect introduces Aaliyah Johnson, strides over to Emily. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not too scared?
No, I'm not scared.
Oh, that's cute. How old are you, Emily?
11.
Oh, I remember when I was 11. Well...
How old are you?
That's a rude question to ask. Why don't I take you around the facility? I'll be your prefect. I'll be your friend.
I'm sorry.
She looks at you quizzically. Yeah. I don't think you know the meaning of the word, but you will.
I don't understand what that means.
Do you want to hold my hand? Follow me, little girl.
But I don't want to.
Listen, dipshit. A prefect's got to show you to your dorm where all the classrooms are, where the showers are, all of that. And that's my job. Trust me, you want me more than you want Francis or Georgina. You want me to do this. Tell me, say to me right now, look into my eye and say, I want you to do this, Aaliyah.
Emily is trying very hard to look into her eyes, but it's like every time she tries, it's almost painful for her. It's physically very hard for her to do. But I don't want to go with Damien.
Girls and boys are separated, you stupid little turd. And you hear a nudging from just over Aaliyah's shoulder. A scuttling, a creeping. You see the cloth of her jacket just shift as what looks like a centipede of enormous size, tropical size, just makes itself known, and its head expands to the same size as that of a Lear. And it says to you, "Follow, follow, 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 follow."
It's not real. It's not real.
It crawls onto Aaliyah's head, so now it looks like as if she has two heads on top of each other. The centipede's head seems to shift to become that of Aaliyah's, so now Aaliyah has two Aaliyah heads. What are you staring at? Follow! Don't make me slap you.
Her second head.
My what? God, you really are touched, aren't you?
Don't move. It's on top of you.
She looks around, the head moves with hers. Right. Emily, she looks at you. Follow, follow, follow. There are no adults here right now, and so now you're going to find out what happens when there's no adults around to protect you. And she smacks you across the face. Shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have done that. You can feel the centipedes, multiple centipedes, 6 of them, 7 of them, crawling up the back of your top now.
They're going to hurt you, you don't understand.
Listen, there's a lot of you. I do not have time to play babysitter. If you're going to have a breakdown in here, you have a breakdown in here. I will just go with a different girl. But we will have our luxury time together, Emily. We will have our private time. Follow her. Follow her.
Emily usually try not to buy into the hallucinations that she experiences. She knows they're not real, but it's just so convincing. Sometimes she can't tell the difference. All she knows is they are not nice and that they're trying to hurt her. But right now fear is taking over and Emily starts following the prefect.
Damien and Tobin, you see this exchange. You don't see the centipedes. You do see Aaliyah smack this 11-year-old girl across the face, and hard. And now Emily is following her.
I, as always, look around. I imagine seeing no adult supervision at all. Yeah, it's just like I thought it would be. This is bad, but there's nothing I can do. If I do something, I'm just gonna get a target on my back, and I can't afford a target on my back. Not now. I feel angry, though. Just pick on someone our own size.
Yeah, I'm reacting pretty much the same way. At least inwards. I feel like, yeah, why is she hitting that little girl? It's just stupid. But then, she seems really, really strange. Why is she even here? She's like 12? What, 11? I try to eat one of the chocolate bars, but it's too sweet.
What have you got there, new fish? The one who was introduced as Isaac Hill strides over.
A Kit Kat? Do you want some?
He snatches it from your hand.
I don't want to look too grateful, but I inwards feel grateful that I don't have to eat that. Yeah.
Come with me.
Alright.
Alright.
Your name is Isaac?
Well done, your ears work then.
Yeah. Alright, sort of nod to Lana and Laura. I'll see you later.
Laura flips you the bird. Lana gives you a wave.
I kind of smirk to myself.
Isaac clearly doesn't give much of a shit about the grand tour. He points out a few places. He tells you where certain rooms, where locations within the facility are. So, for instance, he tells you where Greep's classroom is, he tells you where Edgewood's classroom is, he tells you where to report to Crow for sessions. He explains that the ground floor's where most things happen. That's where we've got the main hall, Crow's office, Greep's class, dining hall, kitchen, chapel, rec room, showers, and the walls.
How long have you been here?
That's a good question, you fish. Here, let me show you something. He elbows open a door, and you find yourself facing a dusty classroom. Come in here.
Okay. I start to feel a bit nervous now.
Closes the door behind you, and he goes to grab your testicles. Are you going to let him?
I think I am at a disadvantage in this position. I am not ready really mentally to defend myself, and not ready for him to do that, so I don't think I understand what he's doing before he does it.
Now, listen to me. He's not squeezing tightly, but he definitely has them in his hand. You are going to go back to the hall. You're going to bring your suitcase and all of your things right here to me, to this classroom. Otherwise, the next time I grab those bits of yours, I'll break something or tear something.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I like that. Alright, that's what you can call me. From now on, sir. That's what I am to you. Alright, can I let go now?
Yes.
Yeah? Alright, good boy. Alright, I'll be waiting here. Don't make me wait too long, sweetheart.
And as he lets go, I draw a short breath of relief, and I start heading out back to the hall.
Meanwhile, we have Damien. Damien, are you gravitating toward a specific prefect?
Not really.
No?
I'm looking around, again, just occasionally assessing. Honestly, I have no idea what I want to happen here. Do I want the nastiest, most awful one to come and probably try and beat me up in a cupboard? Or do I not? Again, I'm really not entirely sure what's actually better for me. But I'm doing my very best to make notes of things, because after all, I'm going to need to remember a lot of these names. I need to make sure I can at least find a fracture. There'll be a fracture. A group like this in a place like this, they're not all friends. There'll be enemies among them. Need to figure out who hates who. That's the strategy. It's like a game. Game you play.
Hello. The one who was introduced as Dylan Poke is suddenly up in your face. But you don't think it's intentional. You don't think he's trying to be intimidating. He just has no social awareness.
I take a gentle step back, but I attempt to offer a polite smile. Hello, Dylan.
Yes, Dylan. You ready for the tour?
If you've got a moment to spare, I'm happy for you to give me your time.
Follow me, then.
I begin to follow this boy, who it seems has a stutter.
He's definitely twitchy. He takes you up to the first floor, and through halting speech and steps shows you where the girls' dorm is. It shows you where the boys' dorm is. It shows you where Mrs. Edgewood's classroom is. And he describes the toilets as inmate restrooms.
Okay. So, Dylan, who have I got to make sure... I kind of smile as I say this. Who have I got to make sure I don't piss off, eh? Other than yourself, of course. Who's the one I really need to do as they say, or I'll be in trouble?
Don't worry about me. I'm not going to do anything to you. Unless you get in my face.
I'll make sure I don't then. Seems reasonable.
Isaac Hill is a bad boy. Very, very bad. And Aaliyah... She's a bad girl.
Yeah? They friends?
They like to hurt people together. If that's what you call friendship. Staff office is down in the East Wing.
Oh, cool. Guessing all the teachers, do they live here? Is there like a floor you don't go to where they live? Just, where we don't go?
Second floor has staff quarters and a big construction area. Science class. The tank. And the memory hole.
The tank and the memory hole? They sound cool. I'm guessing they're not. What's that?
The tank is where the water is kept. It's a water tank. Divot.
Ah, stupid. And the memory hole? That's where they keep the holes of the memory?
Where you go for deep immersive therapy.
You ever had some of that?
We all have that.
That in the schedule?
3 hours a week in the memory hole. Sometimes with music.
Oh wow, that sounds great, I say in a very sarcastic manner.
I hope you like loud music.
Yeah, sounds great. So Dylan, what about you? Who do you hang with? Who's nice then, if Aaliyah and Isaac are the worst?
I'm a lone wolf.
Oh, cool. I try and say that actually sounding genuine, even though I don't actually think this guy is cool at all.
I start fires.
Oh yeah? Wow. I guess you haven't started one here, or have you? Oh, that would be daring.
Time to go back to the hall, to the dorm. Time to look through your things.
Sure, of course, Dylan. Thank you very much.
Emily, you're being taken deeper into the facility by Aaliyah. You actually cross paths with Damien and Dylan at one point.
I would look over and perhaps for a few seconds look a little pitying, but I don't say anything.
Emily is just staring into the ground while she's walking.
What kind of music do you like, Emily? What stupid question. You're 11 years old. What would that be? I don't know.
Music.
Huh. You know, you're very lucky that you're with me.
Music is too loud.
Oh, you'll get used to loud music here. You're a bit mental, aren't you?
I don't know what that means.
You're a bit, what's a good way to put it? Fucked up in the head.
Emily doesn't respond to that. She just looks down into the ground.
Listen, you're lucky that you're with me, because where Isaac would beat the shit out of you for being a pain in the arse on day one, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep my arm around you, my little girl. I'm going to look after you. Like you're my little daughter. Yeah. And as I said, Isaac would beat the shit out of you. I think we can have fun for a bit longer than that.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the scenario It Started and Ended with Screams for KULT Divinity Lost, from the upcoming Screams and Whispers scenario collection. The scenario was written by our friend Matthew Dawkins, who was also our Gamemaster. Joining Craig and Hjalmar as players was the talented Klara Herbøl. The music was made by Atrium Corsari and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody, dark ambient for your gaming table. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, David Hagberg, Camilla, and Ludwig Manford for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, this show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.